We are live.
Well, that's just grand.
So, for those just tuning in, this is another Battle for Midway match. We've got a
Indeed.
Week 4 matchup in North America, Division C, Group 3. And this evening, I've got Nita Pickle, the now veteran caster, helping out.
I wouldn't call myself a veteran caster, but hello! Veteran caster has casted probably 4 matches.
Yeah, actually, this will either be my 4th or 5th, I think.
Yeah. Can get some veteran stuff here. But Caroline here, I'll have you know, he's got a really nice setup going on. He's got a really nice setup. Before the match here, him and I were setting up a few things and testing some things, and he was throwing some ideas my way that he thought and he wanted to put through for future casts, and I really like the ideas that he has. So very impressive setup.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, in an odd change, it looks like the teams are actually on the ball.
Good.
And it's 10 o'clock, and I see 2 full lobbies, which is unusual. We should probably go over who's playing this evening.
Yes, that's probably a good idea. So we've got Aces Wild versus Z3TA.
So I've got the Aces roster up. On the Aces side, we've got Tamerlane, Alex545, Big Jim Jack, Kalen Farstar, Minoxin, not Bob, The Foo. I never pronounce this one right. I might have to actually get him on chat at some point and find out how to say it. Darth Vitite, 21, and the Blood Eagle.
Probably Darth Vitite.
That
I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
That works. I am the worst at pronouncing names, so I have zero helpful advice in how to pronounce that name there.
We'll roll with it.
We'll roll with it.
Half the time I end up just making up bad nicknames and not realizing I'm doing it, so. On Z3TA side, they got a little bit bigger roster. BSG 75, The Big Hoss 87, It's My Road, Wood League Superstar, Kevster 128, Wicked Gaming, Gorilla Viking, Jack Hack, Ruby Fox 313, Multi-Talented, Rich Tig, taking a stab at that one, Jaron Amos, AR-15 God, and Staff Sergeant Marbles. And let these guys know they are being casted.
Yep, they are. Oh, well. Looks like BSG75 asks, are we being casted? Yes. Yes, we are. Not Bob says their lances are set. So, that is Aces Wild. They are ready, set, and ready to go. Z3TA's just getting some few final things set up.
Always a fight over who's going to get the window seat in the dropships.
I like the window seat. It is it's a very scenic seat.
Yeah,
I actually have a little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, depending on where you're dropping, you can actually get some nice views. Caustic, not so much.
Well, caustic sometimes, yes and no. Depends on the day or night. Caustic seems to be pretty good though. It's very scenic. But if we have some time, I quickly have a story. Last year, as I was traveling from where I live off to BC for MetCon, it was the first time I had ever been in a plane, and I fell asleep on the plane ride there, and I had my head against. I was on the window seat, and I had my head against the window, like facing outside, and some baby woke me up Some crying baby woke me up, and I opened my eyes, and the first thing I see are the beautiful mountains of Calgary, and I'm like, oh, I was just completely just awestruck because I'd never seen the mountain before. Again, I'd never been on a plane before. It was just this view. It was so amazing.
Nice. Yeah, my first flight was coast to coast, and I could not sleep. I spent the whole time staring out the window, just watching things go by.
Very, very beautiful scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's something you haven't done before. You see it and you're like, oh my god. Also, we're dropping, by the way, so make sure to switch the scene there.
Yeah, I'm assuming people don't want to see the boring loading screen, so.
That's okay, fair enough, yeah. I mean, I put that through on mine. But we've got to drop here. So, let's get things started here. Aces Wild versus Zeta.
Got a preference for which side you want to start with?
I believe I'm on the Team 1 side, so I'll start there.
Okay. So I will put you with Aces. I'll go check out Zeta.
Yeah, I'm on Team 1 side. So the dropships are coming in.
Command coming in.
This is Wild. Let's see here.
Interesting to see Aces did kind of a split drop.
That they did. They've got a Piranha, a Victor, a Bushwhacker. Sorry, 2 Piranhas, 2 Bushwhackers, 1 Assassin, and a Victor.
Yeah, they are rapidly pushing right to Theta.
That is exactly
and Mass.
what they're doing. On the other side, Zeta is we got Hunchback, Mislinks, Urban Mech, 2 Arctic Wolves, and a Cyclops. The Arctic Wolves are making their way over to the ring. Wow, this is very interesting. Aces Wild's taking no time to stop at Theta. They're just doing a full push.
Yeah, well, they ran their whole unit through at the same time to really cap that quick. And now it's who's going to see who first. Exactly. I don't know if Zeta spotted them
first.
Oh.
I don't know if either team knows. No, they know where
they're rotating. Now.
Yep. Zeta knows exactly where Aces Wild are. Piranha's first in the fight here. Both Piranhas attacking Zeta's mechs. Aces Wild's heavies and assaults are turning around. Tamerlane goes down.
They focus the Cyclops quick. I don't blame them.
Yeah. So 1 down
Not
for each
Bob
team
is
currently. Not Bob is
focused.
Not done in the Bushwhacker. Urban Mech takes him out. It's My Road goes down to the Hunchback, taken out by the Victor.
Zeta seems to be focusing the smaller units first, whereas Aces is going for the big units. Interesting choice of strategy.
Here. Yeah, you've got Jack Hack and the Misslings taking on the Bushwhacker. Alex, 545, is now down.
Yeah, 2-1. Not a good battle to be in.
3-3 for both teams. This is a fairly close match here. BSG down to 64% in that Arctic Wolf. Can he survive? Watch to find out. Minoxen there in the Assassin attempting to jump out of the way. He's got 3 mechs on him right now. They changed their...
Ooh, Irby has been legged.
Irby has been legged, and the Piranha goes down for Ace's side. It's just Minoxen now, and now he's toast. and the Urban Mech actually takes out the last remaining, second last remaining mech on Zeta's side. I don't remember what his name was there. The Urban Mech goes down. Reichig. Jack Hack accidentally TK'd Reichig there. Heads back over to Theta to decap the point.
Yeah,
and that's going to be it for drop 1.
Yeah, and he technically doesn't have to decap at this point. They've won on kills, so the caps are just basically ending the lobby quicker.
Yeah. I have to say, that was a very highly intense match there, right off the bat.
Yeah, they wasted no time just going straight for the brawl.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. That's something I definitely did not expect to see at all. I thought they may have, well, I guess not done exactly that. But yeah, as you said, they wasted no time. They sent their lights up ahead, full capped Theta there, and then just kept right on going right up to the broken dropship.
Yeah, which usually the saying is the aggressor wins. In MechWarrior, it's kind of hard to say who really was the aggressor in this one. They both just gunned it for the match.
That they did. I have a feeling though that Zeta. Sorry, which side was Team 1 again? I don't remember.
Zeta's red, Aces Wild is blue. Aces is Team 1.
Aces is Team 1. Okay. I think it's opposite on my end again. But yeah, both teams were just very, very aggressive, and it was very interesting to see for sure.
So Zeta's tactic of taking out the smaller units first paid off. That's normally the opposite of what I would expect to do. Aces was going, they went right for that Cyclops first. So I'm sure the damage scores will reflect him getting taken out early, but interesting to see Zeta basically working it in reverse and it paying off.
Yeah. Now it's interesting how they had actually run. They've actually run some mechs that you don't normally see. We've seen Miss Lynx and Arctic Wolves. We haven't seen an urban mech in a while, so it's interesting to see an urban mech in a 6v6 competitive situation.
Yeah, they're tanky little buggers.
That they are, and they can dish out a decent amount of damage if you can get yourself into the right spot. As I said, they're Red Shag doing 269 on that urban mech with 1 kill.
Arctic Wolf for under BSG's helm, 423, doing decent work there.
That's a decent amount of work.
Ace's side, Tamerlan. Again, lights got focused quickly. Wasn't able to do
Another thing is Zeta's push there. If you want to head on over to the map strat.
I could do that.
Okay, cool.
And it was 5 to 6 on kills. So map strat is up. I'm going to update the scores.
All right. So they kind of did one of these. Meanwhile, Team 2, I don't remember where they dropped.
Team
Alpha
2
Charlie.
were... So Team 1 was Alpha Charlie, which I found interesting. Team 2 was Alpha Bravo, kind of the more traditional start points. So they... Yep.
Not bad. They kind of did one of these and then looked around. And what was interesting was actually Team 1's lights, the 2 piranhas, were actually in the back end. So they were the first to see Team 2 push around that corner. And of course, they were the first to get focused. So that kind of explains why they died so quickly.
Yeah, those piranhas are good mechs to take out quick. The either machine gun or laser, they're evil once components start getting opened up. So if you get them out early,
evil, yes,
you lose that threat.
They can be very dangerous if you don't pay attention to them, especially with like some of the variants where you can boat about 12 MGs. Very powerful and mechs that you definitely do not want to ignore for an extended period of time.
So meanwhile, lobbies have been flipped.
Yep.
I give these guys full points. They're quick on that tonight.
And I had actually experienced that earlier with the match that I casted earlier. Was both teams were ready to go. They had all their pilots and all the stuff, and I have high respect for teams that do that. They start the match. They know what they want to do. They know who goes where and what drop and when, and the matches just continue going just like that. Makes it a lot easier not only to cast, but also it makes it a lot more fun to watch because you're not staring at two people mumbling at each other for 15 minutes and then a match happens, or we can get some of the points off that we want to get off and then right into the next match. So it's great. So,
Yep.
Thank you.
So,
yeah.
the question now is, does either side change their strategy, or do we see two more brawl decks go smash into each other?
I want to say I think we're going to see two more brawl decks smashing into each other. Because so far that seems to be kind of the thing that happens with the matches that go on with this. And because it's such like a 6v6 kind of situation, a lot of the time the teams want to get into a brawl situation. So
yeah, it's hard to bring enough firepower to do effective trade distance when you're limited to 275 tons.
Mm-hmm. That too, exactly. With the first and second drops being as limited as they are, you're kind of, if not, for lack of a better way of explaining it, forced into a situation where you have to bring a brawl deck.
It's been interesting in practice trying to figure out if there is any other strategy we can do that's viable on this map.
Yeah, on this map particular with the set of tonnage restrictions that we have. So it looks like both teams are actually locked and ready to go. So we're going to launch the next round here. Round 2, Tourmaline Desert.
And most likely, the brawl at Theta.
Only time will tell. Only time will tell.
And for those of you in chat, I do have 3 codes to give away this evening. I'm going to do that at the end of the stream.
Yes, we do have giveaways this time.
Yep. And
so just keep in mind that you do have to be active. The stream is on a 5-minute delay, so you do have to be active throughout chat. So the match is starting here. Once again, I'm on Team 1's side, so we've got, let's see here, Zeta Battalion with Mislinks, Bushwhacker, a Jenner, Mad Dog, Arctic Wolf, and another Mad Dog. I think I already said the Mad Dog, I meant Mislinks. So a similar deck when it comes to Brawl. Aces Wild, we've got Mad Dog, Wolfhound, 3 Mad Dogs actually, a Piranha, Wolfhound, and an Assassin. So again, Aces Wild taking no time at all, getting right up to Theta. Both teams actually getting right up to Theta, immediately going into a brawl situation here. The Piranha and the Mad Dog fighting each other. SRM's coming out of the Mad Dog and the Bushwhackers on Zeta's side. The Fod's pushing right in. What is he doing? Pushing right into the entire enemy team there. Zeta's just ripping him to pieces and he's dead.
That had to have been a mistake.
Strange. That had to have definitely been a mistake. I think he thought that Aces Wild was doing a full push when they were not. Aces Wild really have to be careful here now. They're already a mech down. And that's an assassin down. Making a push down, I want to say the ramp. Meanwhile, Aces Wild is actually taking a stance in behind, doing a little bit of a rotation here, it looks like.
Seems like Aces does not want to get into the scrum like before. They're hanging back or rotating around the mass.
I think they're scared because they lost a mech so quickly. I think that threw them off guard there. Because now they've lost another Piranha, they've lost another Heavy.
Yeah, and I take that back. It's Zeta, not Aces, that's been rotating around. My bad.
In the Mad Dog.
And Zeta is very effectively finding targets and focusing them, which, granted, Aces has given them a couple easy targets.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the 2 lights there, if not the 3 lights, and especially that assassin there. Last mech alive here is the Wolfhound.
Legged.
Make quick use of him. Legged and
overheated.
He overheated. Very unfortunate. He might have been able to at least take one of them out. But that is not the case. Second drop goes to Zeta Battalion.
Decisively.
Yes. I still want to say that's kind of an interesting play, but definitely noticed some issues there on Ace's wild side. I think there was a bit of a confusion as to what exactly they were doing. I know that Assassin was like Assassin is dead way over here, so far away from the rest of the mechs that died. You can see his poor, sad body.
Yeah, that feels like he heard push when it wasn't called.
Exactly. Or somebody made the push, he committed, then somebody else said, "Oh wait, no, stop." Everybody stopped, and unfortunately, the assassin didn't hear the call or was confused as to what was going on because he made a full conceded push right in there, and
Yeah,
oof,
and
that
then
was rough to see.
in that rotation, Aces had another unit lag behind the rotation, and again, Zeta was able to focus them down 6-on-1. So
yeah, same with and same with the light mix as well. On Ace's wild side, the Piranha actually getting into a situation where he got in the middle of a bunch of mechs. And unfortunately, he was taken out fairly quickly when he got legged there. Similar situation with Wolfhound right there at the end. I did also notice, again, that Zeta was actually focusing on their heavies, as you said, like they did last round. The lights on the lights on Zeta's side was actually focusing more on the heavies of Ace's wild side.
yeah, that was
So,
very effective combat from Zeta. They controlled
yes.
that very well, and the damage scores show it. Arctic Wolf again putting up big numbers with BSG. So at the moment, he's the heavy hitter on their side.
Yeah, as long as you can stay alive and keep the damage rotation going with those, especially the small, nimble mechs like the Arctic Wolf, the Assassin, you can do a pretty decent job against the enemy there. But if you get focused, it's fairly detrimental to your survival because those things, like I can't really make a judgment on the Arctic Wolf because I have not run it, but I know the Assassin, for example, it's got fairly good hitboxes, but it does not take a lot to take that thing out. If you get shot 2-3 times, you're already in red armor. And the legs on the assassin, can't say for the Arctic Wolf, but the legs on the assassin are fairly big too. So if that gets focused, then you're toast. And then another thing with the piranhas is the piranhas have such little armor, similar to the Mistlinks, but not quite so. It's easy, like say a wolfhound shoots it in the CT and it doesn't torso twist. That's it. Like you're done. You have a cherry red CT right there. But yeah, very interesting, and I like how both teams, they don't waste any time. You can tell both Zeta and Aces Wild want to play against each other. They're both very aggressive teams, and they go right to it, and it's very interesting to see because that's not something that I normally see myself. Granted, I haven't casted too many matches, but the matches that I have been in myself with my own team and the matches that I've seen other people do, it's very interesting to see, like I'm getting set up here with my casting. I'm looking at the builds that the mechs are running. I'm looking at who's running where. And then all of a sudden, all the mechs from both teams are right there, right against each other, firing each other in the face. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's a brawl going on here. Holy crap. Yeah. So it's really cool to watch both teams just kind of clash in. Like nobody is caring about the caps. They just want to fight each other. They want to brawl, and that's exactly what they're getting right now.
Yeah. So on that topic, to show just how quick that was, note the clock. So we've dropped. If you look at the mini-map, you can see they're all turning and heading straight there. Yeah, and there are ways to get to Theta that you can use the terrain to your advantage, but they're skipping that. They're going straight in. We're 30 seconds in, and Aces is about to make contact with Theta. Yeah, here they are. Yeah, not even a minute to first contact. And So there's the Aces Piranha. Yeah. Yeah. I think, I was going to say, I think Aces Piranha in the lead went around that corner initially and then realized that he was facing the whole Zeta squad, turned around, and I don't think the assassin realized that the Piranha wasn't with him. Yeah, so that may have been a communication thing. We'll have to ask them afterwards.
Yes, put it in a note. Actually, I'm going to do that right now.
Good
I
plan.
will make notes.
So meanwhile,
not...
looks like they're about ready. They're actually being nice with us. We asked them to hold up for just a moment so we could do that. So the map is now Caustic Valley.
Map is now Caustic Valley. If we take a look at the map strat here, we don't need to take a look at the map strat for Tourmaline, as we know pretty much what happened there. We saw the replay for Caustic Valley Conquest 3 Cap. So the cap points there are Theta, Epsi, and Kappa. Team 2 starts up in the north. Team 1 starts down low. We'll see what happens here. Should be fairly interesting. And sorry, go ahead.
So we saw everyone was congregating on Theta on Tourmaline. Problem with doing so here, for those somehow unfamiliar, you're going to get cooked to death.
Things get a little toasty. Now, seeing how both teams like to do such an aggressive brawl, it's going to be really interesting to see what they do here. I'm excited for this drop. I want to see what they do here.
Agreed. They've got more tonnage with them now, so bigger guns can come out. Trading is a viable option now.
It is. That it most definitely is. But as I said, and as you said as well, seeing what we've seen currently, looks like they might try to do similar situation as what they did before. So I'm over here on Team 2 side.
Okay. Wander my way over to Team 1.
So, Team 2 is Aces Wild. They've brought Eben Jags, linebackers, and a lot of Eben Jags. 4 Eben Jags, 2 linebackers. Let's see what their builds are real quick. Medium pulse lasers. It looks like more medium pulse lasers. So this should be fairly interesting to see what Aces Wild does.
Yeah, and I think this map is going to get relaunched.
Is it?
Timeline gets set to random. It's supposed to be daytime. And as spectators, we can't pull night vision.
That's true. All right, so it looks like we're gonna redrop. So everybody's switch the scene there. Good idea. Everybody's gonna murder themselves.
And a little bit of chivalry there to speed things up. One side offered to off themselves, while the other side gets a cap just to get the lobby to end quicker. So meanwhile, in chat, I'm not seeing a lot of love and hype for either team.
No?
No.
Let's take a look at chat here.
I would think Aces Wild and Zeta would have some fans. But apparently they're being quiet.
Maybe their fans are being quiet. It's also possible that maybe not a lot of not a lot of the viewers here know about what the teams are. So that's a possibility as well. Maybe they're just maybe they're just watching, seeing what goes on. I'm not sure. I can only speculate. Maybe they just want to watch. I don't know.
That could be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I suspect we've also got a lot of people that are watching the other stream at the moment. Another Group C drop being hosted by System Belmont and friends. So, busy night for Battle for Midway.
Busy night. There's there's most definitely a battle for Midway going on right now. And we are dropping.
And apparently we're blaming tacos for the misdrop.
Blaming tacos, okay.
I mean, I'm a fan of tacos. I really don't see any reason to besmirch them, but
I like tacos. Tacos are great. Tacos are probably the best thing in the world. Aside from pickles, of course.
well, see,
Right,
I'm from Maine, so I gotta have a little bit of a bias towards a good Maine potato.
Yeah, fair enough. You don't necessarily have any. Oh, actually, you're fairly close to me.
Yeah, we're on the same coast.
That we are. And speaking of coast, dropships coasting their way in here. Once again, I'm on Team 2 side. So, again, Evan Jags, linebackers. Zeta's actually got Stormcrows, Night Gears, Orion, a Mad Cat. Only one Night Gear, actually. And another Orion there.
So normally, I would have said linebackers mean brawl, but I didn't realize they're actually viable in laser trade builds, so we'll have to check the build-outs on those. Looking at Zeta side, Nightgyre, Orion, Mad Cat 2, Stormcrow, Orion, and a Piranha. That, to me, sounds like they want to get in their face.
So both teams currently approaching Theta.
Looks like Aces is going to get the cap.
Yeah, Aces Wild is getting the cap here. They're actually full on in the Caldera, so having the laser vomit mechs that they have, they're going to be fairly hot.
Well, I'm seeing SRMs coming out of those linebackers, so that matches more what I'm used to.
Now, this is interesting. Aces Wild has pushed a lot of their mechs right into Zeta here. You know, you've got Colin Fisher and the Eben Jag there being targeted by 3 or 4 of Zeta's mechs, whereas there's actually a lot of fights going on here. Multi-Talented goes down by Zeta. Zeta's just kind of pushed themselves everywhere. There's not a lot of focus fire going on here right now.
Yeah, they initially were poking at BSG hard, got him down to 46%, but then just backed off and changed targets.
Yeah.
And now looking at Kevster, got him down to 43, 41, slowly picking him away. Bad time to overheat by Not Bob, but he managed to escape without too much consequence. 4 on 4. So far, an even brawl.
It's my road there. They're probably at 77%. Jack Hacks at 74, actually. He hasn't taken too much damage there.
Oh, Jack Hack got legged. Tamerlane drops. Jack Hack drops.
Goes down. Oh, sorry, Not Bob doesn't go down. Now Not Bob is down. Big Hoss goes down as well. It's 2-2 here. It's gonna be a fairly intense fight here. BSG is sitting in the back end. I'm not sure what he's doing or if he has ammo or weapons. Take a look.
He's out of ammo.
He does not have anything. So he cannot contribute to the fight. So it's my road and the Piranha against Alex and the linebacker.
So the Piranha's using him as a pick to get around Alex. But
He
2 on
finally goes
1.
Down, and it's over. Second drop goes in favor of Aces Wild with 2 mechs remaining. A linebacker and an Ippenjag. I will say the mobility of Aces Wild, I think, helped against Zeta, even though they had, more tonnage, slightly higher firepower when it comes to the mechs and stuff. The mobility, I think, is the key that got them, and also the receiving of the push as well. Zeta did. Aces did a very interesting push.
Yeah, they did what they were supposed to do, and granted, the map kind of forced this on them. They got into the caldera, saw Zeta, and pushed through Zeta, which I don't think Zeta was expecting.
That's true. I don't think they were.
That got them to reverse, which gave Aces a chance to get some backs for a little bit once they whirled through.
That's true. It was a little interesting how they had split up a bunch as they did the push. You saw pushes on multiple angles. And as they pushed, I wasn't feeling very confident that they were able to get a solid match in terms of a victory. But it seems that they have, it seems that they knew what they were doing and they got stuff done. So congratulations to them. You see Alex and the Ippenjang doing 6-16. 483 coming from Not Bob. Same build, Ippenjag B. Very high damage numbers there for Aces Wild. 573 in the linebackers. The FOD was actually one of the later mechs to die there, and we did 193. On the other side, fairly even damage numbers for Zeta. Frana 354, 389. Around 300 to 400 there for Zeta. So they still did a decent job of putting down damage.
Yeah.
They just couldn't finish off those last 2 mechs.
Yeah, I think Zeta didn't really do anything horribly wrong. I think Aces just had the higher aggression that time. Aces pushed through, Zeta hesitated.
Yeah, they were definitely in mechs that were able to handle more of a brawl and more of a push situation. The Orions on Zeta's side were definitely helpful, but again, they had a night gear with ATMs. Provided he sits in the back a little bit and fires off those ATMs at their optimal range, yes, he can be very effective. We saw it earlier with the match that I casted earlier, but in this situation with a full-on brawl like that, like what we saw Aces Wild do, it just wasn't enough. And the Mad Cat there at the end running out of ammo was definitely not a very good situation. I think had he had ammo, I think it may have been much closer.
Yeah, I'm curious if he actually ran out of ammo or if he got critted. He was hurting quite a bit.
That's true.
So looking at chat, Blitzkrieg Radic, you did not miss the giveaway yet. That's going to be at the end of the stream.
Yep, it's going to be at the end of the stream. So stay active, keep talking, keep watching, of course. We've got a few more matches here to go. We just finished match 2?
This was drop 3. We're coming up on drop 4.
Coming up on drop 4. Don't listen to me.
All right. Aces Wild has locked in. So Zeta's making their last changes. So it's obvious Aces can handle a brawl. Really, the question is, does Zeta change their tactics this time? They've got flipped drops. So Zeta, in theory, mech speeds being equal, should have a slight advantage in getting to Theta before Aces. Are they going to try and repeat what Aces just did to them? Or are we going to see a more traditional caustic rotation around the perimeter of the caldera?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I predict that we're probably going to see the same thing we saw last time. get a little bit of a setup going, and then a full on push inside. But of course, only time will tell. Now, we have seen variations in the drop decks for each match on the same map. So we may see a different drop. We may see some different mechs here on this next second drop here.
Yeah, Aces is going to be out of linebackers at this point. Yeah, pre-stage at Theta, because it seems to be where the action's happening. Drop ships are coming in.
So once again, I'm on a Zeta set here, so
Command coming in.
we've got Warhammers, and a Victor. Lots of Warhammers here. And an Urban Mech. They brought an Urban Mech. 2 Victors, lots of Warhammers, and 1 Urban Mech. Aces Wild's got Orions, Arctic Wolves, a Thunderbolt. Interesting decision. I haven't seen a Thunderbolt in a long time.
With the latest patch, Thunderbolts seem to be coming back into popularity. For quick play and faction play, I've been liking my top dog lately.
The Thunderbolt has always been kind of like a low-key favorite heavy of mine. It's solids, it's got good hitboxes, it runs decently fast.
So interesting to see Aces is at the Caldera and held up for a moment.
Yeah,
I think just to get everything
up the corner.
Grouped up, and in they go.
Yeah, in they go. Zeta's doing this. Actually, Zeta's holding here. Zeta is holding. They see the push, and they're holding this spot. They're going to receive the push. Now, Aces Wild getting in both sides here. Aces Wild doing a push both sides around this rock.
Zeta getting a quick kill on the Orion.
He's the first to go down. Aces Wild does a full consecutive push right in. Zeta's backing up a bit. The big Haas down to 46%.
This push feels more confused from Aces. They've gotten a kill, but this just...
Zeta handled it a little bit better than they did last time, of course.
Yeah.
Aces Wild.
Zeta's...
having a good time here.
Now, Zeta's doing a much better job finding targets, focusing, and taking them down. It's down to just Tamerlan the Arctic Wolf for Aces.
The Arctic Wolf there.
He needs to get out of there. Instead, he's turned around and he's trying to brawl.
At this point. Yeah, there's not much he can do at this point. He was already at 99%, so he was fresh at the end of that match. So Zeta did not focus him one bit until the very end there.
No, they went for the bigger threats, which, granted, Arctic Wolf can put down some heavy alphas, but they can't sustain it.
Yes. That leads me to believe that Zeta's focus fire was actually really on point that match compared to last round.
Focus fire was on point, and their movement in that match, they did not bump into each other as much as Aces did. Saw Aces spending a lot of time repositioning their mechs just to get them back on target.
Yeah, I think they had a nice strat going where they pushed both sides around that corner. I think if they had initiated it at the same time, a lot of Zeta's mechs were actually focused on the right-hand side of that rock as opposed to the left-hand side. So a lot of Ace's pilots were able to, kind of be taken out one by one by looking at like as they head back down the hill, they were taken out there, whereas the other side, wasn't being shot at, but also was not able to help their team a lot there. So when they were finished with the mechs on the right-hand side, they just turned and looked at the mechs on the left-hand side and took them out.
Yeah, I was ready for the brawl. I was not ready for it to be that decisive and that quick.
That's what these matches seem to be doing here. They seem to be very decisive and very quick. So if you see Kevster there, It's My Road BSG and the Warhammers, 400 damage on Zeta's side there. Urban Mech doing 256. The Victor Both Victors actually went down, 206 and 156. So not a lot of damage there.
Which
fairly
makes
even
sense.
damage numbers though for Zeta's side.
Yeah, you've got to focus those Victors down because they're big, they're tanky, and they've got some decent speed. They are a big threat.
It's true. Not Bob in the Orion on Ace's Wild side doing 559. So definitely some firepower from him. The second Orion there, Callum Farster, was actually the first around that corner on the right-hand side. He was the first to go down. Was only able to dish out 57 damage to the enemy team. But as I said, he was the first one around that corner, so
yeah,
he went down fairly fast.
Never a fun position to be in.
No. Someone's got to do it, though. Someone's got to be the first around the corner.
Yep, and it is a game of armor sharing, so sometimes you being focused means your team has time to do something else. Unfortunately, the sacrifice didn't quite work out this time. So, last drop of the evening. Possibility of one of 3 maps in a...
Mining has been banned by Ace's Wild.
So that means could be HPG or Forest Colony. Just waiting to see what Zeta decides to toss. And good to see there are some Aces Wild and Zeta fans in chat.
Are there? Good.
Another reminder that we are going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this drop. I've got a 1000 MC and 2 mech bays.
So this entire time, I did not actually know that MRBC League One was actually casting a match until you mentioned it earlier. So I had actually had MRBC One's chat pop out. And I was seeing people say, go 228. I would look over and I'm like, 228's not in this drop. It's Aces Wild versus Zeta. What are you talking about? And then I realized we were casting on MRBC 2 and not MRBC 1. So that explains my confusion. I was like, what are people talking about Ace? What are they talking about 228 for?
Well, you know, everyone loves 228 even when they're not playing.
Everybody does love 228. Then, of course, I'm biased, of course. I can't really make any sort of judgment or anything. Can't really say anything.
So, looks like it's going to be HPG Manifold.
HPG Manifold. Lances are set on Ace's Wild side. Just waiting for Zeta to finish up their stuff. We'll get rolling.
Any bets on whether it's a Pop-Tarting PPC fest?
Well, you know what? Considering what we've seen, I don't know.
Yeah,
the difference. It's easy to do both. I want to say on this map. Quite possibly a little bit more difficult to do Brawl on HPG just because of the variations in altitude. Going basement is never a good idea. So instead of doing Brawl, we may just see a long-range engagement, and it'll be really interesting to see a long-range engagement. Of course, the match will take a little bit more time, but, everything is much... I was going to say much more important, but I don't actually think that's true. There's a lot more long-range thinking you have to do. And you have a little bit more time to think about where to poke, when to poke, what to shoot at, where to look. Whereas in a Brawl situation, you have to be quick on the fly. As soon as someone says, look at this target, you got to be right there looking at them. And seeing what both teams have done so far, they've gone full ham and they have destroyed each other. I want to say that I'm going to see another Brawl here, but it's entirely possible they may switch things up and do a long-range engagement because it is entirely possible.
It is. I've seen long-distance engagements work very well on this map, but I'm fully expecting to see Brawl.
I'm inclined to agree, yes.
Of course, I am, as usual, 100% wrong on calling these things, so we'll see what happens.
All right, so I'm once again on Zeta's side here. Piranhas, Mad Cat Mark IIs, a Fafnir, an Annihilator, and a Hunchback. Aces Wild has Marauder 2Cs, Warhammers, and an Arctic Wolf. I want to say Brawl. Let's take a look here. So actually, one of Zeta's Hunchbacks actually has 2 Ultra AC 20s.
Ah, the delete button.
What does that do?
Pretty much what it sounds like. If that Hunchback finds your back,
Oh,
double tap both AC 20s, that's an 80-point near pinpoint armor ripper. There's not much that'll withstand that.
I thought you meant actual delete button, and I hit it, not knowing, and nothing happens. So let's take a look at some of the mechs on Ace's Wild side. AC5s. So kind of long-range builds on the Mad Cat 2s. I think I called them Marauders. I meant to actually call them Mad Cat 2s. I always get the Marauders and the Mad Cats mixed up. Zeta is actually pushed up top with the Fafnir here, taking some shots off on Ace's mechs. Ace is not really in a position to capitalize on that.
Yeah, this...
We're definitely seeing a little bit of a long-range engagement here. Both teams shooting at each other, doing some trading. Zeta's holding the top.
Strike just misses
against Aces.
Yeah, and on paper, Zeta's got the dominant position.
Now, we do have an Arctic Wolf from Aces Wild heading over to cap Kappa. That is one of the caps that he can cap, so he's able to cap that, but he's not able to touch Sigma or Gamma. Aces has both
and
FC and Kappa currently.
Yeah, and Zeta now realizes they haven't bothered to touch Theta yet, but they're now in a 2-0 cap situation. They can't just sit on the top.
Yeah, so they're making a small push here against Aces Wild.
Minoxen getting focused down by Zeta.
I think he looks like he might have shut down there or got stuck on some terrain because he was sitting there for a long time, being focused heavily here. A lot of Zeta's mechs are very, very injured. 53, 56, 51. The Fafnir, Mad Cats.
That strike could be deadly.
Very injured if they don't get out of the way of that strike. Looks like they made it out. The Annihilator there, Kevster, is still in the back. Very bright green Annihilator with a giant eyeball on its side.
Meanwhile, Zeta's Piranha getting in there and ripping parts off Not Bob. There's open components all over Aces, and that Piranha is loving it.
Yeah, he's having a field day here. He's actually forcing Ace's mechs to turn around.
There's a kill.
BSG takes out Callan Farster. It's My Road, and the Piranha still taking on the FOD and the Mad Cat. BSG coming around behind to assist, taking out the FOD. A lot of firepower going towards his body. Now he's
How
dead.
is he still alive? There.
There he go. Last
it's
mech
down
alive
to just
again
Tamerlan. And
yeah, again, he takes out It's My Road and the Piranha, but now he's got Jack Hack to pay attention to. Now, Jack Hack is fairly wrecked. If he can kind of get him alone, he might be able to take him out. But he does have the Annihilator there behind him, and BSG coming into the left, Hunchback coming into the right.
He's going to go underneath and get that 3 cap.
If he can stay alive and maybe keep the caps up, he might be okay. But Zeta is hot on his heels. They're actually not going down just yet. They're looking. I think they know he's going for the cap, but they're not going yet. Annihilator's pushing down now. Both mechs have actually fallen down. And looks like there's a bit of confusion here. Not sure what they're trying to do. I think they're waiting to see what happens.
So
they don't really have the time to wait.
No, they've sent a Hunchback out to Epsilon.
Yeah, they don't have any fast mechs. So they're already down on caps. They really have to make a move here. Of course, both assaults going down low, getting control of Theta momentarily. Tamerlan here is holding at the gate here, seeing it. I think he's trying to see what's down there.
They've taken Epsilon.
Fafnir and the Mad Cat Merc II, BSG, and Big Hoss are moving around.
Now, is that Ace's UAV that is over? No, at this point that couldn't be. Nope, that is Zeta's UAV
Zeta's
over
UAV up
the
there.
south entrance. They've got eyes on Tamerlan.
Yeah, they've got eyes on him as being shot at. Looks like he's attempting to cross to maybe see if he can get a cap on Epsi, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it. He's got to watch out for his legs. They'll definitely, because he's faster, they're definitely going to be targeting legs for sure. Let's take a look at the leg there.
Down to 54. This is going to be
legs
his best
are
chance
fairly
at an
okay.
engagement one-on-one instead of...
And
Oh!
he takes Multi-Talented down.
Good
Nice
shot.
back there. Goes right down. It must have been cord CT.
Yeah, he was pretty beat up.
He was actually torsoed. He was critting the torso there. And then the spread damage of the Arctic Wolf with the SRMs was able to take him out.
Yeah, and
So he's going to have control of Epsilon, but will it be enough? Because the Big Hoss and that big all thick Fafnir is right on his heels. One good shot to the Arctic Wolf's legs and he's toast.
yeah, and Zeta's doing the right thing. They're coming in as a group. They're not trickling in one at a time, giving that Arctic Wolf a chance.
Yeah, and they're also making a pincer maneuver. He's legged.
Oh, yep.
Tamerlan is now legged. So
Working
best he
the
can do
train.
now is see if he can get into a 1v1. The Fafnir is actually running away back to his team there. He's making a good call. Both Mad Cats coming in behind him, pushing. He takes out the Big Hoss and the Fafnir. He takes out the Fafnir. But now he's still too far away from the rest of the enemy to successfully try and beat them up. They're very, very ranked. BSG 24%. Jack Hack there 49, but unfortunately he just can't do it. And they take him out there. Now I want to see what BSG has here. BSG is CT cord and has an open torso. 1 or 2 shots, and the article may have been able to take him out. Similar situation with Jack Hat there. 1 touch to that torso, and he's toast. CT is still orange, though. May have taken a few more shots. Kevster is the one he would have really had to pay attention to because he's mostly fresh. He's lost a torso, but he's still mostly fresh. Like he's CT. It looks like it's just open. Like I don't think it has any more armor left to it, but still fairly like it's an annihilator. It's gonna have a lot of structure to it, and the torso there is still fairly fresh. So that was a very, very interesting match to watch and to also cast. I really enjoyed that last round there. That was great to watch.
You're just waiting for.
There's definitely a really big level of energy. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but there's a lot of energy between the two teams. You can just feel it by the way that they pilot their mechs, the way that they do their pushes. Both teams just want to get right in and brawl with each other. They want to shoot each other in the face, and that's what they do. And it's very entertaining to see. I have to say, of the matches that have happened, this last one here in HPG is probably my favorite because it was just high energy all the time. It was very fun to watch, and there was a lot of times where it very well could have gone either way, and it was very interesting to watch.
Yeah. Oh, going back to the energy, I think both teams had a healthy respect for each other. It's not like those matches where one side knows they're outgunned and they hold back, they want to stay in cover longer. No, these two they both felt confident and threw themselves at each other.
Yeah. They have respect for each other, as you said. They know their team. They know what their team is capable of, and they know what they want. And that's the most important thing, I think. Is both teams know exactly what they want and exactly what they want to do. And if you have, a main goal that you want to do, and everybody's in the right mindset, everybody knows what they want to do, everybody knows what they need to do to get to that goal, that is what that's what initiates matches like this. Very high energy, right against each other matches. And it's it's really interesting to see, both teams knowing exactly what they want and how to get there. And as you said, very high, I don't want to say confidence level, but a lot of synergy with each other. They've played together. Obviously, they've played together, and they know the limitations of the advantages, the strengths and weaknesses is what I'm trying to say, of each and every single one of their pilots, and they know what each person is capable of, how each person plays, and they know how to get the most out of each and every person on their team. I feel as if both teams have that on them. So two very strong teams, especially to fight against. And as you said, like the I want to say confidence level, but definitely very high energy coming from both of them. And again, I just said, very interesting matches to watch, very fun to see.
Yeah. Those are drops I actually would kind of like to have been in myself. It's fun when you're in a group that just meshes like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you see here, not Bob there, 732, and that Mad Cat Mark II. All three Mad Cats putting down very respectable damage numbers. The Fafnir, 706. All the Mad Cats, 637, 664.
Yeah, so
very
they were
high damage numbers on both teams. Both teams were putting down a lot of damage.
Yeah, which means they were also, both sides were effective at rolling damage.
Oh yeah, for sure. We saw the Annihilator there push up in front and then kind of loop back around behind his assaults. And I think that's what saved him, because he was already torsoed for the most part. And it was very interesting to see down there when they had both dropped down. He had actually turned around as soon as he dropped and got in behind his assault. Being the Annihilator, as tanky as it is, I had expected him to kind of lead that push inside, but he didn't do that. He just went right behind his mech, because I guess maybe the mech had more armor, even though now that I think back at it, seeing how damaged that Mad Cat was, the Mad Cat had less armor, so I guess he could have, not kind of like, hidden behind his assault there. But still, it didn't amount to anything. I mean, the Arctic Wolf would have, had he pushed that side, it would have been over for the Arctic Wolf nonetheless, no matter what he tried to do. It was, that was a very fun match to cast. I really enjoyed watching that match.
Yeah. And that's going to be one that I think people are actually going to be able to sit back and learn some things from both sides.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like, of course, there's... I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's get the captains into the channel here, and we'll talk about them and talk to them about things.
All right. It's looking like most of them have run away from the lobby.
Oh, that they have. Let's see if we can get the captains in here, though.
All right.
Message.
Get on Discord and see if I can rattle some people.
Meanwhile, for those of you who are in chat, there is, I was going to say giveaway, but we do have giveaways going on which will take place after we initiate and finish off the interviews with the players. So stick around and make sure that you're being active in chat, because giveaways will happen. What are the giveaway codes you say again?
Yeah, we have got 1,000 MC code and 2 mech bays.
Want some tasty MC? This is the place to get it. So make sure you guys stick around. And there's currently another match going on MRBC League 1. It is 228 Death from Above. Oh, okay. So it ended. So that match ended. I honestly thought that match was still going to go on. I'll have to take a look at what how DFA did. But definitely, I would love to cast another match with Aces Wild and Zeta there. Like, if there was 3 or 4 matches going on, I would love to cast them, because that was a hell of a lot of fun to watch those matches there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there won't be another matchup with them in this season of Battle for Midway, but this format's too fun. There's got to be another season.
It's got to be another season.
Hopefully we don't have to wait until too long, because next year is not that far around the corner, but we'll see how things shake out.
It isn't.
I'm not having any luck getting anyone in for an interview, so I suppose we should
No.
just give some stuff away instead.
All right, well then let's just give some stuff away. You guys want free stuff? I know you do.
Anyone that says they don't is lying.
Unless they honestly, truly just don't want free stuff, in which case they're crazy.
So, in my testing of this tool, with just myself and Moobot in the channel, 6 out of 7 times Moobot won. So this bot is very obviously skewed towards giving the bots
Interesting.
prizes.
Interesting.
Okay. Not going to bother setting things up to be cute. We're just going to roll the dice. First one is 1000 MC. If you win, whisper me on Twitch so I can get the code to you.
I just saw my name. My name's not supposed to be in there.
Shh, no one needs to know that.
Okay.
Cyclone
It's
Jack.
Cyclone Jack
So,
gets the tasty code. So Cyclone Jack, please message Kurlon in Twitch, and he will give you your tasty code. I do want to mention there, I saw Morris Fide. I know that gentleman there. He was right there. One more tick and you would have got it, so
all right.
sorry about your luck there, pal.
So, let's see who gets a mech bay.
And hey, did you know? Actually, I'll wait.
Oh no. The way you said that tells me you've got something lined up. And I don't know if I should be worried or not. Oh, you almost won.
I saw that. So Slow Cool, you have won a mech bay. Slow Cool, congratulations to you. And I will say here, real quick, if you guys want a free mech bay at no additional cost to yourself, make sure you log into MWO and friend Iron Kilo. Because he just loves giving away mech bays. He's gonna kill me for saying that. Sorry, Kilo, I love you.
But a mech bay is a mech bay.
Mech bay's a mech bay, just like $20 is $20.
Yep. Alright. Last free mech bay.
Last free mech bay. Who's it gonna be?
And I'm watching the audio levels. I've got the volume on this wound all the way down, and it's still loud.
Still super loud.
Oh!
RJ Base almost gets it. Multi-talented wins the free mech bay. Congratulations, multi-talented. Please message Kurlon in Twitch chat to receive your free mech bay code. RJ Base almost got it there. Another member of 228. A DFA member as well. So I do have to say, like, I'm just overjoyed right now. The matches tonight, watching those matches, very high energy matches, very fun to cast. 110%.
So, I may have us someone to interview.
Oh, that's great. Let's get some interview going.
Okay,
Who-
he is
who
up
shall it be?
in MRBC Solaris. Well, he's about to get dragged around.
Let's drag him down here and say hello.
Can I do this? I can do this.
Yes, you can. You can drag him.
The big
Hey
hoss.
guys.
Hello.
Hey, my goodness, that was some exciting play. I don't know how you guys felt about it,
Oh,
but
man.
all of our hearts are still racing from
I cannot say this enough. Very high energy by both of the teams. Like, even though Caroline and I are not in the TS channels with you, we can feel it. We can feel your heart and your passion. You know, we can feel how dedicated you guys are to just smashing each other in the face, and it's amazing. I don't know how you do it, and as I said to Caroline earlier, I don't know exactly how to explain it, but you get this sense, this really high energy sense both teams have for not only, you know, playing the match, but also playing as a team with each other. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway, just very high levels and very high intensity levels of play. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, like they were amazingly fun to watch. They were very, very just I can't stop saying high intensity because that's exactly what they were. Very fun matches to watch. You guys did a great job.
Well, thank you, and shouts out to Aces Wild, man. I mean, uh, like I said, our hearts are still beating hard from it. There were exciting matches, all five, and I don't care what the scoreboard says. Those matches were all so much more closer than what the scoreboard will ever tell you. If you looked at mechs post after the battles were over, I mean, it was one or two mechs left over. They just so happened to have made it out. Pretty much, they were the lucky few.
Yeah, some of the matches there, some of the matches at the start were a little more decisive. Like you halfway in, you could kind of tell which team was gonna take the victory, but it was still really undetermined. And then, you know, that last match in the HPG, it could go either way. And even the second last match there was, as I said, just it could have gone either way. It was very interesting, very fun to watch. And it was, for me personally, it was very fun to cast too. Yeah, that's what I've got for it. So good job, guys.
Yeah, well played tonight.
Well, thank you, thank you.
So, going back to the play style, watching the drops, you guys were pedal to the metal, no brakes, pretty much every drop. How much of this was practiced versus call on the ground to do it this way?
Depends on the match. Like for example, the first two rounds over in Tourmaline Desert. Originally we were going to have a scout tell us where they were at and then push, and we found out when we did a scrimmage earlier this week that just wasn't effective because yeah, we knew where they were at, but if they brought a full-on push brawl deck like what we were bringing, they knew that we were one man down. They came into us and it was all over but the crying. So essentially what we said was we brought a Cyclops to look up and over things instead on our way through. And we just put all of our, everything we had into one barrel and said, we're going to look high. They're going to see one of our mechs, but they're not going to see the rest. And we're going to see where this goes from here. It worked. Believe it or not, it worked this week. That was for drop one.
Actually, got drop one, which I can pull up if people want to see it.
Yeah, if you want to pull up drop one, we can kind of take a look at it here.
this is here. This is a thing.
This is a thing, and it's happening.
Yeah. So we saw him, and immediately I said we need to shoo him away. I don't care what happens. He cannot be here right now.
So-
Later in the game we'll deal with him, but right now we can't.
So did you guys know that their mechs were actually a little bit further away than the assassin was, or did you guys think that they were right behind the assassin, ready to pounce you on that corner?
I had an assumption that they were a fair amount of time behind. I didn't know how much because of, trying to keep up with something that's that quick in a main group is not likely to happen. Now, I have seen where groups will do that and they'll use it as the distracting idiot as their assault comes through and just pushes in your teeth. But I wasn't expecting it right away like that, at least.
Fair enough. And I do kind of wish one of the members of Aces Wild were here, because I did actually want to ask them about that. Kind of what their thought process was during that situation, but I guess we were not able to get one of them here, so we can't interview them. But I do appreciate you tuning in and deciding to interview with us, so thank you.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, again, very, very high intensity matches. I really enjoyed watching them, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, like I said, thank you guys. I look forward to watching the replay on YouTube tomorrow
definitely
morning.
give it a watch, because it was very interesting. Kurlan and I don't know about Kurlan, but I was pretty much on the edge of my seat there. Pretty much all of the drops. I'm like, who could win it? Who could win it? So yeah, it was very fun to watch and very fun to cast for sure.
So now, what's Zeta's plan going forward?
Going forward, I believe we have, let's see, we have another week. Oh, next week is Cameron Highlanders, and I don't know anything about them. I don't know how long they've been doing comp for. We have no information, so it'll be entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, I got to cast them for at least one of the drops. Interesting crew. Should make for an interesting matchup. But off the top of my head, looking at their roster, granted, I'm a closeted Davian player, so I don't tend to see much of the higher level players that often. But looking over their roster, I don't initially recognize any names. So far, in Division 3, they have not won a match, but they have been putting points on the board kill-wise, so be interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, no, I look forward to their match. This has been a really good season for us. We've been having a lot of fun with it. So
good to hear. Do you see more comp after Battle for Midway in your future, or?
Zeta has not declared on whether we're going to continue with the comp. I'm one of the 3 lead officers for Zeta, and I'm actually stepping down come the new year. My first child's going to be born, and so I gotta spend my time wisely. And playing video games is more going to turn into more of a secondary thing. So I'll be stepping down.
To you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I've got 2 other really great officers behind me, or actually they're in front of me. I'm the third of the rankings. So, but I'm really sure that they can do this amazingly. So we're looking forward to what Zeta's future has to bring.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
And on a casting perspective, I am too, because and as I've said before, as with Kurlan there, both Zeta and Aces Wild very confident in themselves, very confident in their goal, and they knew what they wanted. You guys knew exactly what you wanted. You knew how to get there, and you wanted it. You wanted it really badly. And that spawns very, I keep saying it, high intensity matches that are very fun to watch, probably very fun for you guys to play, and also very fun to cast as well. So great job, guys, tonight. And we look forward to seeing you in the future and to see what you guys can do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
So on that note,
I'll see you guys later. Thanks for the
Yes.
interview.
yeah, thank you for stopping in.
Thanks for stopping in and interviewing with us. Appreciate it.
So to wrap things up, awesome matches tonight. Nita, I think you found a second calling.
Yes, I did. Yes, I very much enjoyed tonight's cast here. Like, it didn't take me 3 matches to get into the swing of things like it did earlier. You know, as right off the bat, that first match, and I'm like, okay, boys, here we go. So
Yep.
I very much enjoyed it. I'm definitely gonna want to look at casting again. And Kurlan, you also bring a level of energy that I can also feed off of as well, and that really helps. If both casters have a level, have the kind of the same level of energy, we can both feed off of each other, and we can both do an effective cast. And I think today's cast went really well. I'm feeling very confident about today's cast. I'm probably going to watch it again and be like, damn, that was great. So, yeah, as I said to Diadachi earlier, I mean, if you ever have a time or a match that you want to co-cast, feel free to let me know, and I'll let you know if I'm available, because I will for sure say yes.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I really did. I loved watching those matches, and I loved casting them. And I'm definitely wanting to do it again. But
Well,
yeah,
cool.
I definitely found my calling. It's fun.
You've got an open invite here, so at
I
some
will
point we'll get
graciously accept.
the silly cast going that I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Let me know how that goes, because that is like super cool. Kurlan here's got some super cool stuff in store.
And Cyclone Jack called it correctly in chat. It is the Dill stream. So
I'm gonna stay quiet this time. It's not the Dill stream. At least he didn't say the other one. I'm not gonna name it, but at least he didn't say it. Don't say it. I will find you.
Oh, I'm not going to. I know better.
No, I'm not saying you, Cyclone. Don't you say it. It's not the Dill stream. It's also not the other one. Dill cast. It's a cast. You take Dill, you cast it, you cast it. It's a Dill cast. There, done.
So, on that note, thank you. And I'm going to call it there.
Yeah. Thanks, Kurlan, for being the caster here. It was great to be the co-caster. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in to the stream and the drop. I hope you enjoyed the drops. I definitely enjoyed them. They were very fun. And everybody, you all have yourselves a great night. And Kurlan, you have yourself a great night as well, sir.
You too. Evening all.